Hey, salut et bienvenue, c'est le Dragon Métallique. On se retrouve sur Vampyr. C'est un jeu que j'ai jamais essayé, que j'avais. Donc je me le suis foutu dans la poche pour jouer ce soir. Enfin, il est très positif sur Steam. C'est un jeu RPG, choix multiples, réalité riche, genre scientifique, horreur. Dark fantasy, violence sombre, gore. Je vais pas tout vous faire. Donc ça se passe dans un Londres dans les 1918 et on s'appelle le docteur Jonathan Reid. Donc je suis un vampire. En tant que docteur, vous cherchez un remède au fléau qui décime la population. Mais le vampire en vous réclame le sacrifice de ceux que vous avez juré de protéger. Voilà à peu près qu'est-ce qu'on doit faire. Donc on va commencer tout de suite. Mode histoire. Ok, ça c'est un mode histoire intéressant. Ça c'est le mode normal. Voilà, et je progresse plus vite si je tue des citoyens. Difficulté des combats est liée au nombre de citoyens que j'ai tués. Et les joueurs qui veulent se mettre à l'épreuve. Ah, je vais faire normal.
12 dreams for the Red Queen under crown of stone. 8 voracious beasts born from 8 restless nights. 4 nails piercing the flesh of the sinner. 1 prayer for the summoned, called by this song. 'Tis perhaps the countdown to oblivion for the once proud city of London. 'Tis perchance her inhabitants' last dance alone to face death and pestilence. Confronted by the eerie and unknown, mortals became desperate for answers. A flock's flight makes for an omen, the falling of a star a dire presage. Turning to priests for interpretation when there was no reason to be found. When religion failed, men turned to science. I saw them build such vain cities, crafting machines made for endless war. New questions flourished as old answers withered. What is darkness but lurking sun? What is wall but enslaved stone? What is glass but tortured sand? What is song but a call to arms? What is hate but jilted love? What is life but death pending?
Death. Since the apple was plucked from the sacred tree, mortality was believed to be God's punishment. A righteous snare to keep mankind from ascending to the stars. They were all so wrong. Death is not a wicked thing, nor some holy retribution. A true punishment would be to never know its sweet kiss. Awaken from the harshness and be born once more.
Pourquoi il rampe? Oh, c'est plutôt dégueulasse, hein. Bien sombre, bien gore.
Thirsty. So thirsty.
Ah, je peux pas... Je peux pas faire comme voix. Et oh, tu peux me voir, non? Bon. Et juste F. Elle a l'air d'être contente de nous voir. Je savais que t'étais vivant, je crois que c'est ce qu'elle dit. C'est ça.
Mary! Oh, no! Mary! Hold on! Please, hold on! Mary. No, no.
Il a tué sa propre sœur. Merde, c'est con.
This horror. It's a nightmare. No! Please, a moment, let me explain! These patrols are after me. No! No! Don't shoot! This is a nightmare.
Bah, je sais pas.
I need to get out of here.
Peut-être. On peut sauter peut-être? Non, je peux pas sauter.
This can't be happening. No! Please, stop! I mean you no harm. What's going on?
Je peux rien à
Mary.
trouver, rien acheter, enfin
What have
rien
I done?
piquer. Ah,
What's
quoique,
all this about?
je peux aller trop vite.
Shit, where'd it go?
Tricky bastards.
Bon après,
Where'd it go?
qu'est-ce que je peux faire?
Shit, where'd it go?
Oui, oui.
Now, I can defend myself.
Ah, il fait des bonds en avant, quoi. Mais il n'y a rien dans les tonneaux en plus.
Who are you? Stay back! Don't let it out.
Putain, comme il me tire dessus, le mec.
Kill that thing!
Ah, c'est bon, t'as fait. Putain, et en plus, il tire plusieurs trucs.
Don't let it out to your sides. Sorry.
left me no choice.
Je peux prendre son flingue? Non? Non, bah je peux pas.
Who are you? Stupid beast! Sorry.
C'est dommage, je peux pas looter les cadavres. Bon, le jeu, je l'apprécie bien. Hein. Il a un bon système de... bien en main, il a l'air d'être vachement... comment dire ça, pas équilibré, mais vachement maniable.
Please, stop! Who are you? What do you want?
Bon, je peux rien trouver, il semblerait. Hein. Il n'y a rien. Par contre, c'est joli, hein, c'est bien fait. Bon, le jeu, il est tout en ultra, mais c'est du décor de délire, là.
I mean you no harm. I need help. Die, you fucking leech! Please, listen to me. I can't make any sense of this. Shut up, beast! Who are you? What is this all about? What in God's name? I'll do the rest of the job. Just leave me.
Ah, le soleil.
The sun. It feels like it's burning me to the bone.
Jusqu'à l'os. Eh ouais. Bon, il n'y a rien, il n'y a vraiment rien. C'est dommage. J'aurais bien voulu me trouver quelque chose parce que là, ces fringues dégueu là. Merci.
I need to find somewhere to hide. Let me go!
Qu'est-ce que c'est ceux qui m'ont vu? Le mec il a un lance-flamme
I
quoi.
need to find shelter.
Le problème il faut que je fasse gaffe parce que
Is anybody there?
d'après ce que j'ai lu là c'est le nombre de mecs que je tue, ça devient difficile. Bon là c'est le prologue, je suis peut-être obligé mais il va falloir que je fasse du sneaky à mort.
The place seems abandoned.
Ah bah j'espère hein parce que moi
I should be safe enough here.
il me faut des trucs.
Mary! Mary! Mary, I'm sorry. Whoever did this to us, I will find them.
J'aime bien son nez là. Bon, certains trouvent que ce genre de nez, c'est pas assez nul, mais je dois dire que sur son visage, c'est vachement bien. Ça lui va bien. Bon, on va voir un peu. Ah, j'ai trouvé des shillings, du pognon, des pesetas, et trouvé soleil et feuilles. Soleil et feuilles. D'accord, on a une map de la ville. Attends. Soleil et feuilles. Soleil et feuilles, putain, je vois pas ce que c'est. Santé, 100, 0, on s'en fout. Les suceurs de sang ne craignent pas le soleil et ils ne sont pas immédiatement réduits ensemble. Ils sont touchés par ces rayons, par contre, cela fait très mal. J'ai enchaîné un vampire à un arbre afin de voir ce qui allait se passer au lever du soleil. Sa peau a noirci en l'espace de quelques minutes, comme si elle brûlait de l'intérieur. Ses yeux et sa chair ont fondu. J'ai vu de mes propres yeux ses os se tortiller toute la journée pour essayer de s'extraire de ses chaînes. Au bout du compte, il n'en restait qu'un cadavre desséché, qui a lentement commencé à se régénérer dès que le soleil a disparu de l'horizon. Je lui ai coupé la tête afin de le réduire pour de bon. Le détruire pour le bon. Mais lorsque j'ai fait la même expérience avec du feu, il n'est resté du suceur de sang qu'un tas de cendres. Donc il n'est jamais revenu. Le feu est donc notre arme de prédilection, mes frères. Le meilleur moyen de nous débarrasser d'un vampire est de le brûler. Issu de Connais tes ennemis par Karl Eldritch, commandant de la garde de Priven. Ok. Oh, c'est pas mal. Je vois qu'il n'y a pas trop de bouquins non plus à trouver. Oh, une bouteille d'alcool. Oh, c'est quoi ça? Elle est morte de maladie, hein. Putain, et puis regardez ses dents, quoi. Oh la vache.
Wait. This one's dressed up fancy. Let's run through his pockets.
Picking the dead's pockets? Are you serious?
I've still a rent to pay. He's got no more responsibilities. What's this? Gold watch.
Beautiful it is. We fancy it and share the takings. I suppose we are undertakers. Now, give him an Eve.
Donc c'était ma montre en or ou...
That's impossible.
Bah, si c'était ma montre en or, c'est bizarre, hein. Parce que là c'est une femme, alors que là c'était deux mecs. Ah, quoique... Putain, je sais pas, là ça laisse... déduit... Ah putain, j'arrive pas à dire le mot. J'ai pas envie de m'embêter. Oh.
Dreams for the Red Queen that sleeps under crown of stone, that she might linger longer, her eyes as white as snow.
Who goes there?
A prayer for the summoned by warrior song. A child born from darkness must take scent of his path.
Who's there? Are you referring to me? No! No! I still have so much to accomplish. I still have so much left that needs doing.
Encore un peu de chilling. Non, c'est par là, là où je viens. Ah. Là, c'est l'autre croque-mort. Il avait un flingue. Peut-être tirer une balle dans la tempe. Bizarre que le sang il soit derrière lui, hein.
Johnny, this one's lost. We need to leave. And now! No. There's time. I can save him. That's the enemy coming! The orders are to evacuate the hospital! Done. He'll live. And now what? We fight. Killing is a hell of a lot easier than healing.
Eh bah dis donc, tellement plus facile de tuer que sauver une vie,
No.
c'est la vérité.
It never got easy.
Bon, hop. Revolver usé. Non, pas bon. Punaise. Je peux l'équiper ou pas, ce truc? Main gauche, main droite. Ok. Oh putain, le pavé quoi. Bon, je vais devoir lire. 15 octobre. Mal dormi. Becky a toussé toute la nuit et la fièvre l'a fait délirer. J'ai entendu un énorme boucan ce matin. C'était une grosse machine que des ouvriers ont apportée sur les berges afin de creuser un trou dans le sol, comme une sorte de pelle mécanique. Peut-être pourrais-je aller leur demander du travail. Becky a besoin de médicaments. 16 octobre, j'ai parlé aux hommes qui utilisaient la pelle mécanique qui m'ont dit qu'ils creusaient des fosses communes. Un peu partout dans Londres, mesure de précaution à ce qu'ils disent. Il y aurait une nouvelle épidémie. La grippe ferait-elle son retour? Il n'avait pas de travail à me proposer. Becky a un peu dormi la nuit dernière. La fonderie a fermé. Il n'y a plus de boulot dans le coin. 19 octobre. Je suis allé à Londres pour acheter des médicaments et de quoi manger. Aucun train ne fonctionne. J'ai mis la journée à traverser la Tamise, puis à revenir. Becky semble un lieu. Je lui ai préparé une soupe, elle l'a mangée et je n'ai pas trouvé de médicaments, seulement quelques seringues et de somnifères au marché noir. Nous n'avons plus d'argent. Peut-être pourrais-je aller au Pembroke Hôpital demain. Mais il est tellement loin. J'ai peur de laisser ma femme seule aussi longtemps. 19 octobre. Becky a vomi son repas quelques heures après l'avoir mangé. Elle est désormais si émancipée, c'est-à-dire plutôt maigre, que j'ai envie de pleurer. Elle dit qu'elle entend des voix à l'extérieur la nuit. Elle dit qu'elle veut manger de la viande. Où est-ce que je vais en trouver de la viande? Demain, je vais barricader la maison pour nous protéger des pillards. 21 octobre. Les hommes de la pelle mécanique ont arrêté de creuser la nouvelle fosse commune. J'ai entendu des cris hier. Comme s'ils avaient été attaqués. Maintenant, de jour comme de nuit, seuls les bateaux s'approchent pour jeter des cadavres dans le grand trou. L'odeur est atroce. On aurait dû quitter cette maison il y a des semaines, mais Becky refuse de partir. Elle me dit qu'elle préfère encore mourir avec un sourire effrayant. Pourquoi me torture-t-elle comme ça? 22 octobre. Becky vient de m'attaquer. Elle m'a sauté dessus depuis l'escalier et a essayé de me mordre. J'ai été obligé de la frapper et elle m'a frappé en retour. Je suis monté m'enfermer dans la chambre. Maintenant, je l'entends pleurer et marmonner en bas. J'ai récupéré le pistolet que j'avais caché dans le plafond après la guerre pour nous protéger. Je suis désormais prêt à l'utiliser pour me protéger de ma propre femme. 23 octobre, je n'ai pas fermé l'œil. Becky a passé toute la nuit à gratter la porte en demandant... What the fuck? Ça m'a fait peur ce truc. Où j'en étais? Demandant mon aide et en me suppliant de laisser entrer. Mais j'avais trop peur pour la faire. Non, pour le faire. J'entends juste qu'elle meurt. Désormais, ça ne devrait pas prendre beaucoup de temps. J'ai pris le ciel pour que tout se termine rapidement. J'avais tellement faim, je suis descendu ce matin. Becky était assise dans le fauteuil près de la cheminée. Elle halétait comme un chien en me regardant fixement sans bouger d'un pouce. Ses yeux suivant simplement les mouvements dans la pièce. J'ai pointé mon pistolet sur son visage meurtri. Mais elle n'a même pas réagi. Je n'ai pas eu la force d'appuyer sur la gâchette. Je suis retourné dans ma chambre. 25 octobre, la maison est désormais plus silencieuse qu'une tombe. Il n'y a plus aucun bruit. Becky est morte maintenant. Pardonne-moi mon tout. Merde. Pardonne-moi mon amour. Je n'ai pas pu te sauver. Nous nous retrouverons bientôt. D'accord. Donc en fait, c'était bien devenu une vampire en bas. Je disais que les canines et tout, mais c'était vraiment un vampire. Bon, par contre, je ne peux pas sauvegarder, hein, vous le voyez. Sauvegarde 0.
This makes no sense. None of it. No sense at all. It's a nightmare. That's it. So be it.
Ah ouais, dans le cœur directement, lui.
Rational thinking only.
Vampyr. Avec un Y. Salut, Cru. Désolé, je t'ai pas vu. Ah. Ah, il me dit changer le nom du titre et du game, mais je l'avais déjà fait. C'est bizarre.
This is absolute madness. I've lost touch with the real.
Ah si, c'est réel.
As it is, as mad as the moon, who turns blinding sunlight into a glowing reflection.
Qu'est-ce que je peux faire? J'ai niveau Rocky. Niveau 3. Je vais faire ça.
That voice in my head. If I'm not mad, then it must belong to the one who made me what I am. I must find him to understand what I have become.
Bon. Je dois me rendre à Norbank. Sauf que je sais pas dans quel... Par la porte d'entrée. Oh. Il y a du monde.
These people want me dead. I need to leave now.
Here's the Legion. Here! My head's spinning.
Oi! Come out, you coward!
It's locked.
Clever fucking beast.
Dommage que la porte est verrouillée.
I cannot enter.
Je suis usé. Tel de bruit.
It's locked.
D'accord. Faut que je trouve de nouvelles fringues. Hop. Ok.
I'm still in Southwark. I must reach the West End.
Oh putain,
Go back home.
il est là.
Die, vermin!
A strength I never knew I had.
D'accord.
It's locked, all right.
C'est verrouillé.
It's dead, all right.
Les mecs, ils font la ronde.
Oh, this one stinks already. Not been bitten. It ain't you! Shit!
This shouldn't be possible. Every sinew, every fiber of my being is afire. I feel like a child learning the limits of my body.
c'est quoi ça?
My strength. My reflexes. I'm not human anymore.
Non. Putain, pourquoi je ne vois pas la plaque de truc que j'ai... Ah voilà. Bon, c'est des chasseurs, hein, je les bute. Mais si c'est des humains normaux, je vais pas les tuer. Enfin, j'espère. Y a rien par là. Ah, quoi? Votre roi et votre pays ont besoin de vous. Engagez-vous dans l'armée britannique pour aider nos courageux frères au front. Ouais, c'est ça. Ouais. Ça, c'est un truc que je déteste.
My poor sister. If only I had controlled my need for blood. Mary, someone will pay for what happened to you. For what happened to us.
Ouais, moi aussi, je voudrais bien.
It's locked.
Voilà. Ça a l'air d'être la suite. Là, il y a un cadavre. Oh, c'était ça.
This is despicable.
Pas forcément, si je veux éviter de buter
It's locked, all
de
right.
l'humain, je prends les rats. Hein. Je peux pas... Comment je fais? Ah d'accord.
The dizziness from the jump. I can now control it. I cannot enter.
Oh, il y a peut-être quelque chose. Oui, 5 shillings. Il y avait plus que 5 pièces et il me donne pourtant que 5 shillings.
It's locked, all right.
Il n'y a rien.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Bah si. Tu peux pas y croire, mais moi j'y crois.
What will London have to say to me?
Je vais éviter... Oh! Je vais éviter de tuer des humains. Si je peux.
I cannot enter. I've so many questions unanswered.
Encore. 10 shillings.
Another corpse. Have the very streets of London become a mausoleum?
Ah vu les traces de sang, non. À mon avis, c'est encore un vampire.
The man has been drained of all blood, but I can still smell the scent of it. follow the scent's trail. Perhaps it will lead me to my assailant. Fresh blood. The smell is so strong.
Il y a du sang un peu partout ici. Oh.
This is a slaughterhouse. It's locked, all right. It's locked.
Dommage. Attends, non. Pouvoir. Non. Merde. Et pas les pouvoirs tout à l'heure. Ah non, c'est que quand je suis sur le lit, d'accord.
It's locked.
Oui, oh, ça aurait été trop beau.
It's locked, all right. Where has everyone gone? There is no one in sight.
J'aimerais bien me balader, mais je vais faire la piste du tueur.
According to the blood patterns, that's where the victim was attacked. So that must be the killer's trail. D'accord, je peux stocker des trucs. Je sais pas comment ça marche. That's strange. The trail is very erratic, as if the killer was drunk or hesitant. At last, a little life.
I think I'm losing my mind.
Gotta be something can be done to get
I
out
should
of
just run as far away from
Je vois 3 formes de vie. Inconnu. 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 Il y a marqué qualité du sang, qualité. Attends. Je vais regarder s'il n'y a pas des trucs que je peux fouiller. Ça, je peux pas fouiller. Ah, ça clignote. Tu veux voir ça? Ah, il est pas là-dedans. pas. Pourquoi il est pas dans les documents? Là. Parce que je détourne le regard lorsqu'il se moque de ma couleur de peau. Je me déteste parce que je pleure comme une petite fille quand il m'insulte. C'est parce que je l'insulte le garçon. Ok. Non, ça c'est... ça je l'ai lu. Intéressant. Ouais, sauf que j'ai pas envie de la bouffer, quoi.
Good evening, sir. I wondered if I could ask for your help.
Wow, you look like you need a drink.
Yes. I apologize for my outfit. It's been a long night.
Been there, seen that. Don't worry, things can only get worse.
Has anybody entered the bar recently?
Can't say. Sorry. I spent the night making love to that gorgeous bottle, see?
This is important, sir. Are you sure no one has come in here in the last few hours?
I don't know and I don't care. This is a free country. People still have the right to come and go.
What's going on around here? It's like everybody is hiding.
You must be new here. Have you not heard about the murders? Everybody fears the return of the sewer dog.
Who is this sewer dog?
It's the local bogeyman. Convenient answer for every crime that happened for decades. You murdered someone, blame the sewer dog, eh?
You make it sound like it's a fairy tale.
People will always believe in monsters. It's easier than accepting their own darkness. We can all be monsters.
I'll leave you to your bottle then.
Bien bourré le mec, hein.
My God, sir, you look like Jonah's whale just spat you out of hell. Can I get you a drink?
No, thank you. I'm not thirsty.
Well, grab a chair and get some rest. This is going to be another long night.
Where am I? Where is this place?
You're at my bar, sir, the Turquoise Turtle. The last ray of light in this dangerous part of town.
Aren't you scared?
Scared of what? All the bad shit happens out on the foggy streets. And I never go outside.
So you're open all night?
Yep. Figured people might need a place to rest in these dark times.
Why is it going to be a long night?
You must be new around here. Don't you know about the murders?
Tell me more about these murders.
Every morning for the last few weeks, bodies have been found. And those poor sods didn't die of flu.
Do the police have any leads on a suspect?
Even before the outbreak, coppers never came round here. We're on our own. People die in these parts all the time, and no one cares.
I'm looking for someone who might have passed through here recently. Wondered if you might help.
It's been quiet tonight. The only other person I've seen went straight up to his room. Thought it was kind of rude, actually.
You mean he's still here?
Well, yeah. He paid for the entire week.
How long has he been here?
He rented the room a few days ago and didn't say when he'd leave.
Who is this man? What does he look like?
Well, like a gentleman, I guess. Well-dressed, quite polite. A professor or something fancy like that. Always writing, reading notes.
I need to meet this man. I have questions.
Just climb the stairs and knock on the first door. I heard him open his window, so I guess he's still awake. And,
Yes?
no funny business. You hear me? This is a respectable establishment.
Va dire ça au vampire. Bah, attends, je vais quand même lui parler à elle.
Hello, sir. Are you all right? Is there any way I can help you?
I don't know. Maybe you could just talk to me.
Maybe you prefer to speak with Tom then. He's more agreeable talking to strangers.
What is this place?
This is Tom's bar, a turquoise turtle. I'm the barmaid here, Sabrina, if you want to know.
Are you always open this late at night?
No, it's only since the epidemic started. Tom thought that people may need a safe place to stay.
Elle dit qu'elle veut pas parler, mais elle parle quand même, hein.
You don't seem to have much business. Where is everybody?
Well, most people are sleeping right now. And those that are awake tend to avoid going out. What with the murders and all.
What's going on around here? Where is everyone?
Too many dead, sir. First the epidemic, and now all these terrible murders.
The murders. What can you say about them?
Bodies found in the streets every morning. Drained of blood. It's just horrible. Some say the sewer dog is back.
The sewer dog? What's that?
No one knows. People have always disappeared around these parts. The ancients say it's the sewer dog coming out to feed. But now he's killing in the streets.
What have you heard about the epidemic?
It's a Spanish flu. Yeah. Killed so many last summer. Thought we'd seen the last of it. Dozens dying every week.
Are the authorities doing anything?
Nothing. There are so many quarantine zones in London now. It's gotten really hard to travel across town.
I just want to talk. I didn't mean to scare you.
I'm not afraid, sir. It's just I've other customers to take care of.
I only see one customer.
Oh. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I best check on them.
I'll leave then. Thank you.
I think I'm losing.
This is no place for you. Priwen has several patrols roaming the area.
They do not pursue me.
But they're looking for vampires, and they're most efficient.
They'll not relent until the killer has been identified.
I have a common objective, but I require...
I think someone is eavesdropping.
Are you certain?
Elle est juste
You might
derrière.
as well come in, whoever you are.
Slowly, vampire. Who are you?
I mean you no harm.
Saith the vampire. Present yourself.
I need a word. Anyone.
Avec sa croix.
Well, that's something I can do for you.
C'est quoi ce bureau avec des tiroirs de tous les côtés?
And who might you be?
D'accord. Docteur Edgar Swarson. Qualité du sang. 6000 XP. Tu crois vraiment que je vais le bouffer, quoi? Non, mais tu délires. What? Situation sanitaire à 97% maintenant. Alors qu'elle était à 83. Mais c'est du délire, là. Il fume grave. Ah non. Non, d'accord. En fait, plus c'est haut, mieux c'est. Non, je croyais que c'était... plus ça monte, plus c'est grave.
Tell me, who are you?
First, tell me what you want. Then I may tell you.
That's none of your concern.
Sir, you have entered my room in the middle of the night, pale as a corpse and shaking like a tree. So please, indulge me.
Someone is molesting people. In fact, killing them. Biting them.
The calling card of a vampire. Like you.
Qu'est-ce que je dois faire? Hop.
I've been hunted down in the streets and attacked. I'm a victim here too.
I believe you.
Then if you are not a vampire, who or what are you?
Dr. Edgar Swansea of the Brotherhood of St. Paul. I'm performing an independent investigation here in an attempt to understand precisely what is going on.
And what exactly is this Brotherhood?
Sir, if the name is not familiar to you, then we shall discuss it another time.
What have you uncovered concerning the murders?
It started a few nights ago. Rumors of violent murders. The docks have always been, shall we say, somewhat unsavory. But this is different.
How different?
A vampire is at work here. Famished. Reckless. It must be brought to ground, and quickly.
C'est moi où ils ont raté son menton à celui-là, là. Le menton il colle pas avec le visage, là, il est en train de se barrer sur la gauche là.
I heard another voice, that of a woman. Who were you talking to?
Ridiculous. I've no idea what you're talking about.
Something tells me not to trust you.
Then the feeling is mutual.
Then help me find the culprit.
I may. If you'll first tell me why you opened this door.
I followed a trail. The scent of blood from a recent victim. It led me here.
You thought I was your aggressor. That explains a great deal. We're both chasing the same shadow.
A shadow, indeed. Yet I heard his voice in my head. There was a moment I believed I was mad.
You should let me handle this affair. You've no idea what you're up against.
No. I will find the monster. He is mine.
How will you do any better than I? But then let me ask you this. What are your intentions if you find the killer?
I will at last have the answers to my questions.
Then I can only wish you good hunting. And pray we shall meet again.
Un peu particulier. peux fouiller sans que ça n'aura rien à foutre. Est-ce que je peux fouiller l'autre chambre?
It's locked.
Non. Bon, il faut que j'interroge les
If
résidents.
Swansea is not my attacker, it means somebody else came here tonight. Someone must know something.
Evening, sir. Can I help?
I have a few questions.
Where?
I spoke to Dr. Swansea. He's not the man I'm looking for. Now, I want the truth.
The truth? What do you mean?
I suspect that someone else was here tonight, and I don't think Tom wants to tell me about it.
I'm just the barmaid here, okay? If Tom says you're the only visitor we had, then you're the only visitor we had.
I can feel your fear, madam. Please tell me what's going on.
It's Will. William Bishop. He came in here earlier tonight and he... Well, I thought he was going to clock someone.
What happened tonight?
He was dead drunk as usual. My God, his eyes, his face. He must have caught something awful. He shouted and cried. It was terrible.
Why are you so
Pas sûr.
afraid?
I mean, his skin, his hands. I scrubbed every glass and every chair that he touched. God, I hope it's not contagious.
Bah, ça doit être un vampire, donc...
Tell
attends.
me about this William Bishop.
Will was a sailor who worked at the canning factory before he lost that job. A nice bloke, really. He's never been violent. Until tonight.
Why keep it a secret? Why not tell me about it?
Tom's nothing if not loyal. After Will lost his job, he offered him one ear. They used to be good mates. But recently, well... Will started to get very aggressive.
I see. Thank you for your candor. I'll be sure to talk to Tom.
There's gotta be something can be done to get out of this bullshit mess.
Welcome back. Did you find what you were after?
I can't say I have. Are you sure no one else came into your bar before I arrived?
Hey, I told you, you were the only other stranger I've had.
Tom, talk to me about the visit from your old friend, William.
Yes, Will came by tonight, but he's not my friend anymore.
Who is he?
William? Just an old sailor who loves his gin too much. He worked for years at the canning factory before it closed.
Is he dangerous?
Yeah. Like many drunks, he's all bark and no bite. He can barely stand up most of the time.
How was he tonight? Was he different?
Sicker than usual, perhaps. He whined and mumbled about how mean people were to him and how he'd like to talk to me outside, and then he left when I refused.
Why lie to me if he is not your friend?
I didn't lie. I said you were my only unannounced customer, and that's the truth.
I need to find him. It's a matter of urgency. Do you know where he is?
You could try his boat. It's up by the North Pier. He sleeps there when he's too drunk to get home.
Please describe him to me.
What do you expect? He's a tall, sick bastard with a bad rash and torn old clothes. William used to be strong. Now he's a mess.
Thank you, Tom.
If you see him, tell him I don't want him back here unless he cleans up his act, okay?
Ah, donc il m'avait bien menti le mec. Oh, par contre là j'ai la cuisine que je peux aller voir.
I think I'm losing my mind.
Regarde,
I
y'a
should
rien.
just run as far away from this place as I can.
Damn it.
It's locked, all right.
Bon.
I will get to the bottom of this intrigue. What's been done to me, to this city?
Bénévole de la fabrication de munitions de guerre. Les Britanniques travaillent ensemble. Ingénieurs et ouvriers qualifiés, engagez-vous dès maintenant comme bénévole pour la fabrication de munitions de guerre. Aidez les hommes au front en leur fournissant de précieux stocks de munitions. Vos salaires n'en pâtiront pas. Engagez-vous à l'usine pour aider au front. vois que 2 bateaux amarrés. Y a rien. Bon. Par là.
It's locked.
Merde, j'aurais pu fouiller. Faut que je trouve un moyen de déverrouiller des portes. Bon, c'est pas le bon, il faut que j'aille voir de l'autre côté. Quoi par là? Ah, c'est de là où je viens. J'ai besoin de vous, ville. C'est à moitié déchiré, je peux pas lire ce qu'il y a c'est. Il n'y a rien par ici. Ah, par ici, je peux voir.
I cannot enter.
Putain, et c'est que des trucs verrouillés ici. Ah, pas ici.
There's nobody here.
J'ai pas encore vu un seul endroit où je pouvais vraiment fouiller là. Une baraque. C'est un peu décevant ce niveau-là. Oh, il est où le bateau là? Mais quelque part, bordel. Ah oh, tiens.
The body is still warm. This man has just been drained of blood. This man was armed. He tried to defend himself. Blood and empty gin bottles. This bishop fellow is something of a heavy drinker. This corpse has been dried of its blood, just like the previous victim. What's this? Some sort of note.
D'accord.
These men, they're a company of professional vampire hunters. There are blood splats on the other side of the canal. I must reach that barge.
Ah mais putain, il y a des chasseurs de sang. que j'évite de les buter, moi.
It's locked, all right.
Je vais essayer de les éviter. Le problème c'est que je peux pas... Non, je peux pas me mettre en sneaky. Là il y a du pognon.
Best stay back, sir. Did you hear me? Over there! There's one of those vermin!
Bon, tant pis, j'ai dû le tuer. Il m'empêchait d'atteindre un petit coffre. Oh merde, en fait j'avais pas besoin... J'avais pas besoin du tout. Bordel!
Safer places to be than here. Get back to a warm fire.
Shut that foolish mouth.
I said stay away, sir.
You ever known McCullum to be wrong about
Go
anything?
back home, idiot. No time I can remember. But I've only been part of the guard 3 weeks to the day. It's down! Finish it! Yourselves! Easy does it, boys. We can deal with this, vermin.
Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
I'll not betray your trust.
Is this first? I'll need a drink. I'm so thirsty. Overcome this.
This place reeks of bloodshed.
Saw tonight already, and it did not quench my thirst. I must have more.
This creature is bedeviled. I must put it down.
Bon, je l'ai tué, hein. Le mec, il était pas trop... Pas trop hard.
Let me go. William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
I knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by scowl?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you... like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
Ah, c'était pas plus loin que moi.
By George and the Saints, you've solved the mystery of these terrible murders. Patience, good fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give me a moment to secure my boat. We can leave this awful place.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed this drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me. It's locked.
Je voudrais voir si je peux pas revenir avant de l'avoir affronté. Ouais, non, je peux pas.
I cannot enter.
Ah, c'est con, j'aurais bien voulu voir si j'avais pas loupé des trucs. Tiens, j'ai gagné une arme. Ah, j'ai dû louper des trucs. J'aurais dû buter les mecs. Merde. Tant pis.
This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I must find a place to analyze the blood.
Dommage, dommage. C'est quoi son bateau là, pour reculer? Il doit faire une manivelle comme ça. Et en plus il peut tourner.
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... what manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reid.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reid, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reid. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
Of that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reid, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Franchement, il est bizarre son bateau. Faudra que je retourne à l'hôpital voir si je peux... Enfin, que je retourne au dock voir si je peux voir ce que j'ai loupé. Je suis sûr que j'ai loupé des trucs.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy?
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reid here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
It's locked, all right.
Come on, you bastard! You can do better than that! Nah, it's my turn!
Rotten oak.
Come on, you bastard. I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse.
Je vous laisserai vider de votre sang, je vous tuerai, je restez poli. Non mais c'est quoi ces conneries?
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reid.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go. But no famished hunter can run for long.
Alors, Florian a essayé de me faire tuer quelqu'un. Bon, je vais faire une petite pause et je reviens à tout de suite. Me revoici. Bon. J'ai fait des conneries. Puisque j'ai pas tué les mecs. Oh putain, il y a l'air d'avoir du matos ici. Parce qu'en fait, les chasseurs quoi dire, les chasseurs ont l'air de pas avoir de conséquences si je les bute. Alors que les personnes comme lui, si je les bute, ça a des conséquences. Bon, je suis pas vraiment, j'ai pas envie de faire un tueur parce que c'est un vampire. Par contre, si c'était autre chose, comme dans, je sais pas, par exemple Overlord, alors là, je ferai la fête, je détruirai tout. Bon. Ah, c'est quoi ça? Ne toussez pas en public. Évitez la maladie, cracher et tout, ou éternuer. Sans faire attention, propage la grippe. Ces microbes sont expulsés par le nez, la gorge. C'est pas en public. Bon. On peut fouiller un peu là.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reid has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
Et un vampire.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reid. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
What is the...
This hospital...
It's more...
Don't be...
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office down again.
Intéressant. Je sais pas, les choses.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Faudra que je leur parle. À mon avis, voilà, c'est ça, je gagne de l'XP quand je parle aux gens. Oh. Fiole de verre. Intéressant, il y a d'autres choses à piquer. Ouais, j'arrive. Je fais juste le tour un peu là. Hop. Des choses que je peux piquer. Ça me sera forcément utile. Allez, j'en ai pas toute la nuit. Bah si, t'as toute la nuit. Donc tu attends Que j'arrive, que je sois tranquille.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reid. Your office has been prepared.
I would like to ask a few questions first. And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
If you could point me in the direction of...
Second floor of the hospital.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Elle a l'air d'avoir un gros balai dans le cul, celle-là. L'hôpital ne peut plus accepter de nouveaux patients à cause de l'épidémie. Le grippe hôpital, veuillez rentrer chez vous. Bon. T'es qui, toi? Ah, mais t'es celui de tout à l'heure.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reid. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reid. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reid. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Ah d'accord, donc c'est lui qui est la boutique.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I'll bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital? That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Ah, nouvelle quête, d'accord. Il m'a filé une quête. Pas d'indice.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reid. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
D'accord. Donc ça... D'accord. Ça, c'est un fusil. Et il le vend cher, le mec, hein. Wow. Ah, j'ai que 75 shillings, c'est quoi ça? D'accord. Ah, je peux les recycler en composant-ci. D'accord, donc j'ai intérêt de faire extrêmement gaffe à ce que je vais looter. Ne pas forcément le vendre ou le recycler. Parce qu'on peut pas forcément looter les choses à l'infini, quoi. Bon, c'est déjà un trait du jeu assez intéressant. Ça a été peint par un gosse, ça, c'est pas possible.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research. Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
Ah oui, non, elle est bien défaitiste, hein, celle-là.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Intéressant. J'ai aucun indice.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reid. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Ah bah putain, c'est sûr que ça doit faire mal si tu te prends un but dans la gueule.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Disgust on every street corner.
Bon.
I cannot enter.
C'est bloqué. T'es qui, toi?
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reid, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reid. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Ouais, c'est pas moi qui aurais été voir le Gugus, hein.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Parce que pour aller voir un psychopathe tueur en série, c'est pas moi qui y va.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Et t'es pas un saint, toi. T'es un inconscient.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Ouais, il se prend vraiment pour un saint, le mec, hein.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Ah, il a vendu un peu la mèche.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Ouais, non mais attends, tu t'es fait mordre.
We'll talk again later.
Eh, docteur Swaway, là, ou je sais plus quoi, là, prépare le pieu, le pompe, on va le défoncer, lui.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reid, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reid, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Un vampire.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Bah, un peu,
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover to hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Ça existe pas.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
Ah, ça doit être...
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require?
Tout.
Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal acting.
Bon, j'ai plusieurs choses à faire là. Faut que je trouve le mec qui se promène dans la morgue et dans le jardin et faire la mauvaise cible. T'es qui toi?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reid? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Ah bah putain, le mec, il m'insulte dès le départ quoi.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reid. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reid, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
Sauver de nos esprits, le savoir est notre meilleure arme, pas justifié.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can...
Merde.
It seems you...
I refuse to...
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. Thank you for your time.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Thank you, Nurse
Je t'ai déjà parlé. Barre-toi de là. Oh bordel. Il y a tellement de gens à qui parler. Oh la vache. Tellement de gens, tellement. What? J'ai un reflet dans le miroir. On dirait que j'ai une capuche. Bon, je sais que c'est chiant, mais je vais leur parler.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reid. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reid.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reid. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reid. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
Ça pue un peu, hein. Bon, je gagne des quêtes, hein. Mais se taper autant de textes à la con...
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reid. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Bon, j'ai gagné une quête, mais... Putain, et ça part à volo de tous les côtés ici, hein.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him?
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
What? Tu te fous de ma... Non mais c'est quoi cette blague? Elle fait payer pour avoir un lit dans l'hôpital. Ah bah je vais aller voir tout de suite.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reid. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Goodbye, Mrs.
Attends. Ah, c'est elle. Ouais, c'est l'hôtel.
What can I do for you?
Non, c'est pas
Thank
elle.
you, Nurse Crane.
C'est Crane. Awick. Elle est où là, Awick? Je vais le faire tout de suite. Awick, où es-tu? Awick, je vais te fumer. Là. Non, c'est le docteur.
Good evening.
Good evening, Doc.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reid.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
Goodbye, Milton.
Bon, l'infirmière, elle est où? Là.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid, the new surgeon here.
Ah non, c'est une autre, celle-là.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
Pourquoi ils me regardent tous de profil comme ça, là? Ils se prennent pour Cléopâtre?
An invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Goodbye, Nat.
Bon.
Good evening, Doctor.
Dr. Reid, any...
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more, unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
J'ai vu passer la...
Goodbye, Doc.
Celle que je cherche. Où t'es passé, l'infirmière, là? Je t'ai vu passer.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doc.
Non, t'es pas là.
Goodbye.
C'est pas toi. Elle.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Attends, il y a un problème là.
Goodbye, Nurse.
Je peux pas lui parler. C'est con! J'allais la voir. Je l'aurais tué. Enfin non, mon but c'est pas de la tuer, mais franchement c'est dégueulasse quoi. Ça c'est un truc que j'aime pas. Il y a des gens qui souffrent, on les fait casquer à mort, tout ça pour les entuber.
It's locked, all right.
Merde, je peux pas parler avec la bonne femme. C'est quoi cette arnaque?
I cannot enter. Good evening. I'm Dr. Reid. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
How
So
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reid. It's my mother.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
S'enchaîner à son lit.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Bon.
I have to go now, sir. But don't...
À s'enchaîner à son lit, quoi.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reid.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reid? I have the feeling you're very capable, and your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies.
Ah, c'est sûr, Vampyr, tu vois le sang. Je vais te sucer la moelle.
They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is, I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Helen.
Bon.
As for me.
J'ai parlé à tout le monde. Essayons de trouver la morgue.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
Ouais, non mais attends, c'est le jardin que je veux faire. Ah, intéressant ça. Non, il est pas là. Il est où alors? Non, mais attends, c'est foutage de gueule. Hagwick et le noir demandent du fric. Non, mais c'est une blague. C'est quoi ces fumiers, là?
It's locked. Good evening. I'm Dr. Reid.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. Nope.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Pas sûr.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Ouais, pas sûr.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful.
quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
T'as quelqu'un devant toi que c'est le contraire.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reid. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Please show me one.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curio.
Ah, ça c'est intéressant. De l'opium, bof. Cocaïne. Ah ouais, d'accord. En fait, ils vendent de la drogue, le mec. Ah bah putain.
I cannot enter.
Bon, pour l'instant, je peux pas rentrer. Oh. Je peux.
It's locked, all right.
Sorry you ended up on my plain and cold medical bench, sir. I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation. I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
I cannot enter.
Et comment je peux rentrer ici?
It's locked, all right.
Good. Goodbye.
Ouais, je peux pas y aller pour l'instant. Bon. Essayons de trouver le jardin, puisque...
It's locked, all right. It's locked.
Ah, une enveloppe. Sérieusement, ils lui ont demandé une somme exorbitante pour avoir le lit d'une femme qui est morte de la maladie, quoi. Hardwick. Oh, c'est pas le jardin ici. Est-ce que je vais le trouver, son jardin, là? Ça doit être là. Petit. Oui, tu, petit.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Eh ouais, Scarl. Maintenant, je dois trouver le portefeuille. Bon, au moins, on a réglé le jardin. L'enfluré. Ah! Ah, je suis mort. Ah, et plusieurs mecs ensemble, c'est... Waouh! C'est pas génial. Ah, je dois recommencer. Bon, je vais plutôt m'arrêter là. Je reprendrai bah, la prochaine fois. Hein. Bon, le jeu est très intéressant. Bon, c'est vrai que la parlotte, il parle un peu pour rien d'ailleurs, mais on arrive à avoir voilà, des informations. Grâce à ces informations, bah, si je les bute, j'ai plus d'XP. J'en gagne énormément, mais le problème c'est l'épidémie, elle devient complètement impossible à gérer. Mais en même temps, découvrir des indices me donne de l'XP, ça qui est bien. Ça c'est très intéressant. Ah d'accord, en plus de leur fournir des traitements... Ah bah putain. Un traitement pour la fatigue. Stable, grave. Bon, je connais pas. Bon, en tout cas, ce qu'on sait, c'est qu'on s'est fait transformer par un vampire masculin. Et qu'on a découvert une vampire féminin. Ah putain, le coup d'endurance, les dégâts... C'est pas mal. Faudra que je voie ça. Ouais, c'est vraiment pas mal. Le jeu, bon, je suis que niveau 3 parce que l'XP, il faut que je me repose pour l'avoir. Sans compter que les chasseurs, il faut vraiment que je les bute. Hein. Il faut pas que je les laisse en vie. Parce que je loupe de l'argent, du pognon ou d'autres choses dans le genre. Parce que j'ai pas pu fouiller les zones. En plus, je suis sûr que je peux pas y revenir. Parce que ça a été bloqué juste après, par exemple, que j'ai tué l'autre. Donc il faudra que je vois ça un peu mieux. Bon, on va s'arrêter là. Je vous dis merci d'avoir regardé ce live. Pensez à follow la chaîne YouTube et Twitch. Et je vous dis bye bye et à bientôt.